let's be real. Why is it that some Etsy sellers open a shop and immediately start making hundreds of sales, while others spend months uploading listings, following every TikTok tip out there, and then barely scrape together a few orders? I've met thousands of sellers who've dealt with this, and here's the truth. It's not the algorithm. It's not Etsy hiding your listings because they're canceling you or blacklisting you. It's the outdated advice you're still following that used to work, but now that same advice kills your traffic. And today I'm breaking down the 10 worst Etsy tips that people are still clinging to in 2026, but I'll also show you what to do instead with clear examples so that you can act immediately. So if you're watching this, I'm going to assume that either you're not seeing the sales you expected, that you feel like you're doing all the right things, but you're still not growing, or you're wondering if Etsy is just too saturated. I can promise you it's not saturation, it's strategy. If you've been wondering why your traffic is stuck or flat, this first one might be the reason. And this is copying Etsy's trend report. Okay, everyone thinks that Etsy's trend report is the cheat code, but by the time it drops, you're already at least 3 months behind the curve. So I would recommend using Etsy's trend report as kind of a backwards signal. So instead, you want to be getting ahead of trends by watching Pinterest and the influencer market, analyzing what big brands are doing, what premium brands are doing, and these sources will reveal what is coming next. This is really important because Etsy's algorithm favors novelty and timing, and being early on a trend will give you ranking momentum, and it will let you own the category and become a market leader. Now, this next one is actually why your conversion rate might be lower than it should be. And this mistake is putting everything into a gift box. Gift sets exploded in popularity in 2022 and 2023. But now I'm really seeing that customers want simplicity. And with a few exceptions of more consumable products, customers want one premium, meaningful item, not 5 tiny filler things that look like they're from Dollar Tree put together in a box. So what do we do instead? Unbundle your bestsellers. If you have bestsellers that are bundles, consider offering them also as standalone purchases. Offer the candle alone. Offer the tumbler alone. I recommend also looking at higher price point, more premium items that you would not ever put into a gift box and introducing those to your shop in the next year. Now, this next one is a total 2020 move, but I'm still seeing some of you do this. It is only selling one product type. You've probably heard stick to print on demand, or only sell digital, sell t-shirts only, or sell mugs only. Instead, what we want to do is mix our categories strategically. The highest volume shops that I work with, they sell a combination of digital, handmade, supplies, and print on demand together in one shop. And having a consistent aesthetic is more important than fitting into one creativity standards category on Etsy. Now, why is this? Well, more categories give you more opportunities to be found by different types of buyers without sacrificing your brand identity. In short, you're going to show up under way more sets of search results, and that is free traffic. What we want to do is focus on customer segments, not niches. So instead of, a niche of yoga moms, how about instead sell to women who value mindfulness, maybe minimalism, and they're willing to spend over $50 on self-care. Sure, they might do yoga, but they also might buy organic soap. It's broader than yoga moms, but it is still focused on a customer who values spending money on specific areas of her life. Now, if you're still doing this next one, I promise it's a complete waste of your time. This is manually refreshing your listings. People still believe that renewing your listings over and over and over every single day will create a huge flood of traffic, but it doesn't. So instead, what we want to focus on is improving our click-through rate. So this could mean updating your mockups, having brighter, crisper photos, or testing out new thumbnails, because Etsy will favor listings that convert customers, right? The more people who click on the product when they have the chance to will help you rank higher. Manually refreshing your listing and renewing it doesn't tell Etsy anything about the potential revenue they could get from your product. Now we're going to get into the one thing that could be silently capping your traffic. This is only relying on Etsy for your traffic. Keep in mind, you, the seller, you're on Etsy, but your customers are also on Pinterest, on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram. We want to use these platforms that our customers are also on to drive long-term organic traffic. Actually, one of my listings had over 122,000 visits just from what I did on Pinterest and Facebook for free. And yes, this still works in 2026. So start pitting daily, even for 10 or 15 minutes, and then optimize your SEO, not just for Etsy, but also for Google. Some of our clients have over 90% of their traffic on Etsy coming from Google, which is amazing. Etsy actually rewards off-platform traffic. They will actually pay the fees when you drive your own traffic if you are using your share and save links. It's basically advertising for them. You are bringing in new shoppers, which helps your ranking and your sales. Okay, and now this next one. This next one is big, and this alone wrecked thousands of shops when it went viral last year. And this is putting itty-bitty short titles into your Etsy listings. We all saw the update in July of 2025. They were recommending have clean, short titles. What was the result of this? Well, thousands of shops lost their visibility. How do I know this? Because we had literally hundreds of emails in the week that this happened of people saying, oh my gosh, I accidentally shortened all my titles and my traffic tanked. How do I get my titles back? We've tested this across over 10,000 listings within our program, and it does not improve your visibility. And so what are you left to do instead? Use long tail keywords that are relevant and that make sense. Okay, we're not repeating the same keyword over and over and over. We are using powerful, meaningful, relevant long tail keywords. Long tail keywords are at least 3 or more words put together that reflect a phrase that has high intent buyers behind it. If someone is just typing in coffee mug, does that mean that they are looking to buy one with a dog on it that is purple for their sister who got a new puppy? No. But if you look up new puppy owner gift, coffee mug, custom pet portrait, well, now we're finding someone who's looking for something more specific. Now, notice I didn't say purple because purple probably doesn't matter, but the custom pet portrait, that was probably something that they were looking for. So they might not have realized that it was going to be a purple mug, but they knew they wanted a custom mug. Now, discounts are powerful, but only if they are simple. And what I'm seeing some sellers do actually creates more harm than good. This is when your multi-item discounts are confusing the heck out of your buyers. Buy 3, get 15% off. Sounds nice until your customer has to do mental math. We want to do simple, no-brainer discounts. Site-wide 15% off, no conditions around it, because simplicity will increase conversion rate, and an increase in conversion rate will outpace the average order value increase that you're trying to get from making them buy 3 things. Because when you think about it, even sites that say spend $100 to get free shipping, you are spending a lot of extra time trying to figure out what else you should add to your cart to hit the threshold to save $10 on shipping. So much that you oftentimes abandon that cart and say, I don't know, I'll think about it. I got to come back when I have more time. We do not want to do this on Etsy when over 70% of people are shopping on mobile for most of our shops. So simplicity increases conversion. Complex rules can slow buyers down, and it can kill that impulse purchase. So we want to get that emotional impulse purchase, not create conditions and hurdles for them to jump over. Now, this next one is something you've probably heard of before, but it is dead wrong. And this is believing that more listings will make you more money. More listings is not better. Better is better. I will die on this hill of quality over quantity every day. It's not that your first 30 listings are going to make you 20 grand. You're going to go through reps of creating listings, but the key is you're not just stacking listings into your shop. You are removing the dead listings as you create new listings. So it doesn't mean no testing. It simply means we are not flooding the shop with dead weight. So we want to focus on power listings. I actually had a student, she had 1,100 listings in her shop. She cut out 1,000 listings, taking it down to just over 100 listings. She went from 7 orders a week, which was about $1,000 for her, to then 7 orders a day. That's a transformation. So clean up your listing catalog. And this matters because dead listings, it will drag your entire shop stats down. It will also dilute your bestsellers' visibility. And finally, the last one, this actually feels like maybe one of the sneakiest mistakes that feels like it's strategy, but it's not. And this is tweaking other people's best sellers and putting them in your shop. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen these YouTube videos. Follow this trend. This listing is making $20,000 a month. Here's how you can make the same thing and then change something small about it to make it your own. That is not a business strategy. You're chasing other people's success. So here's what we do instead. Study the why behind people's bestsellers and then innovate. Maybe it is the vibe. Maybe it's the color. Maybe it's the typography or the mock-up. Leaders don't copy. Leaders set trends. Creating something unique will position you as a category leader and a brand leader, and it will build long-term brand recognition. You will not just look like a cheaper copy of a shop that's been on Etsy for 15 years. So if any of these things for you hit home, I would love to hear in the comments which one resonated with you the most. And if you're ready to grow your business and you want to learn more of the real actions you should be taking in your shop to actually see some sort of results, I would love to invite you to my next free masterclass. I'm going to go ahead and put the link on the screen where you can just take the QR code. I give you tactical action steps. I also have time for Q&A. You get bonuses for coming to the class too. And if you want to learn more about what specifically to sell in your shop, check out this next video where I dive into that a little bit deeper. All right, I'll see you in the next one.